agencies, community organizations, or individuals that were taking acts or extraordinary steps to build and foster positive relationships between law enforcement and the communities they serve was very important to me. I think we can all acknowledge and say that that is extraordinarily important right now at this point in history and this time of our state and nation. And so today I wanted to come personally to Manatee County to recognize a sheriff's office that has really gone above and beyond their call of duty to serve in the traditional role as a police officer. They also reached out and made a little boy's dream come true that was going through a particularly difficult time in his life. Jeremiah, a Manatee County resident who is now 5, was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma. And that story touched the hearts of so many of these tough deputies behind me, in the sense that he always wanted to be a police officer and always talked about it to his mom and dreamed of one day being a police officer. He just had such admiration and respect for this profession. And so the group behind me made his dream come true a little early. Thanks to all of the efforts of the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, they invited him here to the Sheriff's Office, made him an honorary deputy. I believe he was presented with an official badge by Sheriff Wells himself. All the deputies were on hand to welcome him into the law enforcement family. He got trained in commands that they use with their canines, their sheriff's office dogs, and he was even given a bike for pretend patrol. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office stepped up, really made his dream come true, and they touched the hearts not only of the family of Jeremiah, but really the hearts of this community, and it spread throughout the state. We heard about it all the way in Tallahassee, and we were so proud. Proud that you not only made this little boy's dream come true, and I can tell you what that means for a kid that wants to be an officer. My husband, who is a career law enforcement officer, remembers the exact moment he saw a billboard on the side of the road and turned to his mom, who was driving the car, and said he wanted to grow up and be a law enforcement officer. I don't know how that went over with his mom. I'm sure she would tell us a funny story about that. But what it would mean to a young kid that wanted to see himself do that one day to actually become a deputy at 4 years old. I've seen the footage and the videos from that day, and it would make a grown person weep. It is the sweetest, most creative, genuine act of kindness that I've seen in a long time from a full sheriff's office. And we need positivity and acts of kindness in our communities, in our states, in our nation these days. It's been a tough year for our law enforcement family. In 2021 alone, we have already lost, in Florida, 12 law enforcement officers. And by this time last year, we had only lost 4 in the line of duty. That's 3 times more. It's been disheartening, devastating. I've been to far too many law enforcement funerals this year. And despite these harrowing statistics, despite us hearing that the dangers involved with this profession seem to rise daily, you still have folks like this behind me that show up to work without hesitation, understanding the dangers because they love their communities. And this act of kindness towards Jeremiah shows how much. In fact, it's inspiring to me to hear about Jeremiah, who wants to grow up and be just like these guys. And that's probably because of the types of acts like the one we saw here. We made his, I say we, that was very too generous for me. Y'all made his dream come true. So we developed this Back the Blue Award program to recognize programs just like this, where we are forging those relationships between law enforcement and the community. The idea behind this was to make sure that the community could help us spread the word about how engaged deputies, troopers, police officers are with their communities. In fact, the very act of signing up for a job like this shows how much they love their communities and fellow Floridians. I've been honored to present more than 30 Back the Blue awards since taking office, I will continue to recognize extraordinary acts like this. When officers demonstrate these kinds of acts of kindness and love for their community members, the community will show that they love them right back. It's an important cycle that we need to promote and hold up, and one that I will keep doing as Attorney General. So thank you for taking just a moment of time to be with us today to help spread the word about not only this important award, the Back the Blue Award, which I will now present to Sheriff Wells, but the incredible stories like this that law enforcement does on a daily basis to show the communities that they care and that they want to help and promote and lift up the communities that they so selflessly serve on a daily basis. And we appreciate you being here to recognize this. And Sheriff Wells, if you'll come up. There you are. And I'll present you with the Back the Blue Award from the Florida Attorney General's office.
Right. Well, thank you so much.
And I think Sheriff Wells, you wanted to say a few things?
I will say a few
All
things.
right.
I'm going to let these big boys right
The ones
here.
that really executed the plan well did.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I just want to thank the Attorney General for taking the time to come down to Manatee County to acknowledge what I feel is just a very compassionate and just a great way to showcase how much we believe in the work that we do in our community. And like the Attorney General stated earlier, we have a lot of bad press that's been spread throughout this nation. And I can tell you that what you hear is not 100% accurate. These deputies care about what's going on. They care about the people. They care about taking care of others. And Jeremiah is an example of someone that contacted them about the struggles that Jeremiah was going through and the fact that he wanted to be a police officer. And these deputies behind me, they took that and they ran with it and made a special day for a young boy who really needed it most. He needed it that day. I would ask that you would continue to pray for Jeremiah. He continues to battle, this awful disease, but he's got one of the biggest hearts of any child I've ever seen in my life. I can still recall just the joy that he had as these deputies, once again, were presenting him with the bicycle as we gave him the badge to make him an honorary deputy. I know that was a great day for him and his family, but I want to make it perfectly clear. I had nothing to do with that. These men behind me are the ones that took the ball and ran with it and made that day happen, and I couldn't be any more proud of them. So at this time, I'm going to have Sergeant Steve Chenard come up and kind of go over what took place. Steve?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Sergeant Chenard. I supervise our K-9 unit. First of all, thank you, Sheriff, for allowing us to do this. I know it was no question for him, but it was a great opportunity for us. I know I can speak for the other folks behind me here. It's something that we will never forget. Jeremiah he's an extremely strong young man. I thank his parents for allowing us to come through here and present everything we did for him. And he was the smile and the light that law enforcement really needs right now. I heard the Attorney General talk about deaths in the line of duty and different things like that. Everybody knows the environment of law enforcement right now. Trust me when I say, I can speak for myself and the gentleman behind me, we don't come to work thinking about that. We come to work for moments that we had with Jeremiah. Those are moments that stick with us. That's why we do the job that we do, is to have a positive influence on even one person's life. Makes our whole day, our whole year worth it. I believe it all started with Deputy Wolf, right? Deputy Wolf was contacted through a friend, and that's how the Sheriff's Office came to be with the story of Jeremiah. So special thanks for him for giving us the opportunity to do what we did. We have stayed in touch with Jeremiah. As the Sheriff said, I ask that you guys pray for him. He's still battling, but he still has a smile on his face. So, thank you.
Well, thank you again so much for joining us today to spread the message about the positive acts of kindness that law enforcement does on a daily basis, not just in the traditional roles in which we expect when they sign up to provide safety and security to their communities, but just as holding themselves out as those that can be a positive person, role model, participant, stakeholder in their communities that they love. So important, and we're glad that you're here with us. I'd be happy to take any questions, and I know any of the folks standing up here behind me would be happy to take questions if you have any.
Any questions? Good. Okay, thank you.
All right.